Hello, everyone. This is Niall with I Am My Best. And I am here today to talk about emotional intelligence. This is something that has my heart. I found it, learned it, became certified in coaching and teaching it, and it has forever changed my life. I absolutely advocate it because, first and foremost, it is a practice of understanding ourselves. And that's at a really deep level. It's not just scratching the surface, it's really understanding what is true to us and what we believe in, what we're here to do, and really getting to our individual, unique why. That's first and foremost with emotional intelligence. And once we get that sorted out, then it's really about looking at our emotions and how what we value most, what we're here to really do, um, how we navigate the outside world successfully with what we have to give. So, a teacher of mine called emotional intelligence knowing when to bring it and knowing when to put it away. I absolutely love that expression because that encapsulates it in a nutshell. Another teacher calls it learning how to be smart with our emotions. And the reason why this is so important and why so many people don't understand is emotions actually do drive us. They are what's at the root of our values system and our beliefs. And it's through our emotions that we navigate the world. Now, a lot of people definitely do suppress emotions, but that's when disconnections within are created. And that's when we become less able to be decisive, less able to follow our own life journey. And we tend to be perhaps more inclined at times to follow the journey of others or even be susceptible to indoctrination. And I recently did a tweet that I'm going to read you that I think is really important and invaluable in terms of baseline understanding of emotional intelligence. And then I'm going to talk about what kinds of things we measure as emotional intelligence coaches through our assessments. Emotional intelligence is a practice of first understanding ourselves at a deeper level, and second, to practice managing our emotions. Then, using these things to be who we truly are, to make sound decisions, to problem solve with integrity, to navigate the world successfully, and to optimize our unique life journey. In addition to this tweet is there's a sad dark side to emotional intelligence. Sometimes leaders, authority figures, or even loved ones who have influence over us, they've learned a bit about EI. And when we're open-minded and open-hearted, we're open to what they say. And unfortunately, sometimes these people can take advantage of impressionable minds. And especially if these impressionable people have not honed their skills in those first two key areas about knowing yourself, understanding yourself at the deeper level, and really practicing how we manage our emotions. This is very deep and very nuanced, and really nothing that we've been taught in the history of being in the institutions that we're in school, in society. We haven't been taught this. We need to learn it. We need to gain control over our own lives. So please get to know you before you allow others to tell you who you are and how you should live your life. I can't stress that enough because if you don't, you may just be led down a path that sounds really great. It sounds really rooted in evidence based information and somewhat aligned with our value system, but it might not be quite our journey. And that's why I believe in taking what you can from every ideology that you come across, every groupthink idea, everything that seems like it's moving the needle in the right direction of ourselves evolving and growing and learning and bettering ourselves. But just take what works for you. Don't take it all hook, line, and sinker and drink the Kool Aid of any one particular group unless that is truly for you. And it's up to you, no one else. So, emotional intelligence is done through different assessments. There are different models. And one of the ones that I use is done through EQI 2.0. And it was initially developed by a psychologist from Israel named Ruvan Baran. And it's been refined since. It is a highly validated, highly reliable psychometric assessment tool. I believe it's 133 questions. It takes about 20 minutes to answer. And it has questions that then measure you in terms of a population group based on your region of where you live in the world, or it can be a global region. And it can also be done to compare you against population bases within your age group or all age groups in terms of ages 16 and up. So the kinds of things that it measures would be things like our self-regard. That's sort of a combination of our self-esteem and our self-confidence, how we regard ourselves and respect ourselves. And it measures self-actualization, our inclination to want to grow and expand and learn more and better ourselves, and sort of pursuing our noble goals. It measures emotional self-awareness. So this is understanding our own emotions. So being able to label them, being in touch with them, knowing, what am I feeling right now? I'm confused. Am I anxious? Just how nuanced are your emotions? Getting to know that really helps us understand where it's coming from. And again, it's often rooted in our value system and our beliefs. When emotions are evoked, that's something we need to pay attention to, because that has to do with our why. Other things it measures are emotional expression. So how we effectively express our emotions. And this is where I go back to what my teacher said about knowing when to bring it and knowing when to put it away. Sometimes expressing our emotions a little bit more has more of an impact, and sometimes it can hurt people. And when we are a little bit more in the driver's seat of our lives and in the driver's seat of how we manage our emotions, rather than just blurting something out or exploding in the moment or bursting into tears when we're in a place where being overly vulnerable might really bring harm to us, we need to get in charge of that. And there are absolutely ways. Mindfulness is an excellent practice of how we rewire our brain to be aware of our surroundings and within, and how to create a match of energy between what we feel and need and what is outside of us in that moment, and how to respond. Assertiveness. This is a big one. This is about stepping into our power and communicating our feelings and beliefs in a way that doesn't upset others, doesn't create more conflict, but just expresses it in a somewhat neutral, energetic tone. It doesn't have to be entirely neutral. It doesn't have to be neutral at all, but it's about being effective with communicating our truths. It also measures independence. How independent are you? Are you an independent thinker, or do you rely on what to think, what to decide? Are you looking to others outside of yourself to really help you navigate what's right and wrong in your world? It also looks at your interpersonal relationships, how you navigate your networks, your friendships, your personal and professional relationships. And it does look at empathy. This is the thing that most people think of when you mention emotional intelligence. It's just one small part, but it's super, super important. And it includes self-empathy. A social responsibility is another area that we measure. So this is about your social consciousness and how helpful and how thoughtful you are of the communities outside of your immediate network, and within your immediate network, but anything that's outside of yourself, and how willing you are to help the community expand and improve. And then it also measures problem solving, how effective we are, how creative we are, how flexible we are. It measures reality testing, And impulse control, that's a big one for some of us. Impulse control is resisting or delaying our temptation to respond, to say something in that moment, to react. It doesn't always serve, and often it doesn't serve at all to react in the moment. Then there's also stress tolerance. That is a big one. We are in a time of high stress, and we really need to calm ourselves down, see things as they really are, and learn what it means to have an amygdala hijack. I will talk about that another time. And then finally, optimism. Optimism is something that we measure, and it is so important, especially in 2020 as we're coming to a close. We need to stay optimistic and realistic all at once. If we don't, we start to lose ourselves, and we can start to lose our minds and our hearts. So that's the nutshell of emotional intelligence and how we measure it. There will be a part 2 coming soon. And I want to say thank you for joining me. And I look forward to talking to you again soon. Have a beautiful rest of your day.